Leadership and culture are said to be ever-enveloping paradigms informing each other, as one is expressed and the other is impacted in a looped cause and effect fashion. In fact, leadership drives culture. Culture drives leadership. They both drive performance. The literature on the relationship between cultural context and leadership consists of two different levels of analysis. One, the relationship between organizational culture and leadership, and two, the relationship between national culture and leadership. It is important to understand employees' culture in organization because an employee's national culture can influence his or her perception of work environment and its components, in which national culture is defined as the values, beliefs, and assumptions learned in early childhood that distinguishes one group of people from another. Leadership styles are consistent within a culture, which implies that they may also vary considerably across cultures. Based on cultural background, an individual may make assumptions about his leader in relation to the leader's leadership prototype. Therefore, different leadership styles or leadership prototypes would be expected to occur naturally in societies that have differing cultural profiles. There are different optimal leadership styles for different national culture. For example, in individualist countries, people think that having freedom and challenges in jobs are more important. While in collectivist cultures, people favor security, obedience, duty, and group harmony. So, culture is an important variable in defining leadership effectiveness, since what may work in one culture may not work in another. Here are some examples of unique leadership styles. Starting from the United Kingdom with casual leadership. Casual leadership is a way of being. It arises naturally as a creative spark from and through spacious awareness, aligning multiple visions, delivering creative resolution to unsolvable problems, and providing spontaneous intuitive direction beyond imagination. Opening and surrendering to this source of being, individually and collectively, at the most profound level of human consciousness, is one of the most pleasurable experiences a human can have. Second example is the United States with structured individualism. Individualism emphasizes personal freedom and achievement. Individualist culture therefore awards social status to personal accomplishments, such as important discoveries, innovations, great artistic or humanitarian achievements, and all actions that make an individual stand out. Each manager will manage their own sections and members of their respective jobs, with wide range but limited of freedom. Each manager will have their own individual decisions on how to manage the team. Now we come to the Latin and Arabs with nepotism style. Nepotism is favoritism granted in politics or business to relatives. The term originated with the assignment of nephews to cardinal positions by Catholic popes and bishops. Nepotism is found in the fields of politics, entertainment, business, and religion. Let's take a look at Asian countries. Asian countries follow consensus style. Consensus decision-making is a group decision-making process that seeks the consent of all participants. Consensus may be defined professionally as an acceptable resolution, one that can be supported even if not the favorite of each individual. Consensus is defined as general agreement and second, group solidarity of belief or sentiment. It has its origin in the Latin word consensus, which means agreement. There are three basic factors that we need to consider in the impact of national culture on leadership: communication, language, and gender. First, communication. This relates to the manner in which people communicate and interact with each other. We can scale cultures according to their willingness to be direct or indirect in the manner in which they can communicate. Those in direct camp, Germans, Americans, and Scandinavians, tell it how it is and are not overly concerned with sentiment. Why say anything else but the truth? However, those in the indirect camp, Arabs, Indians, and British, would find such a style rude and inconsiderate, as it puts people in embarrassing situations. The latter is concerned with faith, honor, and harmony in personal relationships. Secondly, language. Although English may always be the language of the office, it does not mean everyone is totally confident in its use. Also, bear in mind, they may not appreciate the language to the same degree as a native speaker. Issues resulting from this include: for non-native English speakers may be more reluctant to express themselves freely. This might interfere with the ability of team members to offer their maximum contribution. However, for non-native speakers, they may not always be able to express themselves in the manner they intended. Words can be misused, given the wrong emphasis, or statements can come across as rude. The last factor that we are going to discuss here is gender. Every culture or society has its own understanding of gender relations and acts according to them. What is acceptable in one culture may offend in the other. This may play a role on a team to some degree, especially when two ends of the spectrum are represented in a team. The way men and women in a team interact, the way authority is allocated, assumed or perceived, and the way roles and responsibilities are distributed can all be impacted by different viewpoints on gender. As and where issues arrive, it is best to tackle the subject head-on and agree that within the company there are specific protocols when it comes to gender interaction. And now we can say that we have understood the impact of national culture on the leadership. Thank you.
Audio Jungle.